Hi there, and thanks for joining me on Mel B's Starch Strong Life. So today I had realized that when I went over my last video a few times, I realized that I might not have explained the starch solution the way that I wanted to, or maybe even the way that I should have. Just being new to this and nervous, and then my kids were home from school and kind of distracting me in the background. I could hear them kind of arguing with each other a little bit. So I just wanted to clarify that today. So I do want to also start on a positive note. I know I had said that I'm not doing any like vigorous exercising or anything like that yet. I do plan to, maybe not so vigorous, but more of it. But yesterday, so I'm 10 days-ish into the starch solution, and I've already noticed like increased energy. I'm not as tired as I have been. I'm wanting to get out and do more. So yesterday morning after breakfast, I really felt like I needed to get some fresh air and that I needed to move. And so that's what we did. It's getting a little nippy here in Alberta. I think yesterday was only like a high of 2 degrees Celsius, and there was a little chill in the air, a little breeze. So we dressed up a little bit warmer, me and my daughter, and we decided to just go walk. We walked around town. Like, we only just live in just a small town. So, I mean, yes, everything is fairly close, but we live kind of at the edge of town. So, it's a little bit more walking involved from where we are. So again, we did 5 kilometers yesterday, which is actually just over 3 miles. Me and the little one did. Needless to say, my legs were a little bit sore. I have some shin splints today so far. So that's good. This just means I did something, and no pain, no gain, I guess, kind of thing. So that's a really positive thing that I've noticed. I also wanted to just talk quickly about water. So, and I know I've heard a million times, and I'm sure anyone else who's been on this like weight loss train up and down have heard many times that we should at least be drinking 8 cups of water a day. I know I've heard that many times, but I've also heard we should be doing a lot more than that. But I guess everyone's different, so maybe what I need might not be what you need, and maybe you need less, or whatever the case. But I do find, for me personally, this is what I tend to drink from. So this is about a liter. I try and get 2 to 3 of these in a day, more like 2. Just because I find like if I drink any more than that, I end up having to get up in the middle of the night to pee, which is a downfall, but I guess, more is better as well. But I find that is kind of my magic number, in between 2 and 3. If I had more, that would probably be a lot, better for me. I am dealing with like a really dry skin issue. I don't know if it's been going on probably for about, I want to say around 3 years. I noticed like it started with a small patch here, and then it just kind of spread, and it's just kind of like all over my face now, like so dry, like extremely dry. It could just like flake off sometimes. It's gross. And even the rest of my body, it's not dry like that. It almost feels like sandpaper a little bit. Not so hot, but I'm really dry and flaky, and it's not just the time of year. Like I said, I've been dealing with this for a few years now, so maybe I do need to up my water intake. Whatever works for you guys, great. But again, just the mixed information out there. I don't know what's right, so I'm doing what's right for me. So water is part of my daily ritual. I also drink coffee. I have not given that up yet. I know, Dr. McDougall, the author of the Starch Solution, he does say, which was really shocking to me, but he does say that coffee raises your cholesterol. I was extremely blown away by this. I had never heard anything like this in my life, but he swears that's the truth. And So, I mean, obviously that's not a good thing. We're trying to get that down. But it doesn't even matter if it's decaf. Actually, apparently decaf is worse for you. Go figure. Anyhow, so, I mean, before I started my vegan journey, I was drinking coffee with cream, like dairy cream and sugar. So I cut the dairy cream out, and then we moved to Silk soy creamer, which actually has oil in it, so I had to cut that out. Now I'm down to just using like almond milk, so maybe about an ounce of almond milk, of course with some sugar still. I have cut down a little bit on that. I do eventually, I'm not the type of person who can just cut myself off of something. I have to, it's a slow weaning process, which is fine because eventually I'm gonna get there, and so it works for me. You gotta do what works for you. So yeah, down to the almond milk, which is great because there's no oil in the Silk almond milk that I use. Just in the, you can find that in your, like your, refrigerator section. Any of your supermarkets, grocery stores, whatever. I'm sure most of them carry it by now. So that's what I use. But yeah, the water, the coffee, I don't tend to drink like really fruit juices or anything like that. Pops and stuff I tend to stay away from. Obviously, it's not a whole food and it's not healthy, so we're just trying to stay away from that kind of stuff. Plus, they're empty calories, and we all have heard many horror stories about Coca Cola. That used to be one of my vices, and then just soda pop in general is just not a health food, so it's not good for you, so we stay away from it. Also, I noticed I had noted that I couldn't get my wedding ring off due to inflammation, that we had to literally tear it off. So I am married. I want people to know I'm married. I don't want to feel that. So I just went out and bought myself this cheap little, not real, just something that does the trick for now. So I am married. I am a married girl again. Awesome. Okay. So now, to the starch solution. So like I said, I kind of felt like I didn't explain it overly well, maybe, and probably a lot of you felt that way, or anyone who has watched the last video. So I just want to say, I am actually going to, just one second here. My computer is behind my camera, so I'm going to pull up the starch solution book, just so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay, I'm just gonna flip you around here. Okay, so that's it. Eat the foods you love, regain your health, and lose the weight for good. The Starch Solution. John A. McDougall, MD, and Mary McDougall is his wife. So that is the book I read that got me started on this path. So good. I couldn't put it down. I literally read it like it was extremely fast. Fastest book I ever read. So interesting. So like if you're anything like me, this health stuff, you know, everything about it interests me, and I want to learn more and more and more, and I just can't get enough of it. So it's like another reason why I come to YouTube. Like, I want to be able to help other people. I want people to maybe teach me things as well that I don't know. So this is kind of like my passion, and I'm enjoying it, and you guys got to get this book. It is incredible. It's awesome. So anyhow, on to like the meaning of the Starch Solution. So basically it's a whole food diet based around starches. So if you can think back to when, or if you are even now still eating animal foods, your main centerpiece was meat. So whatever it was, if it was chicken or fish or pork chops, whatever, you always based your meal around the meat. So around that centerpiece. So you'd have, pork chops tonight, and then you were going to have a side of potatoes, and then you were going to have a side of peas. Okay, so that's basically how it used to go for us anyhow. Now, our centerpiece is the potato. So the majority of my plate is filled with potatoes, and then I have my sides. Like if we decide to do like, I don't know, say black beans one night, we'll have a side of the black beans, and then we'll have a side of broccoli. Stir fries. the majority of your stir fry is going to consist of rice. That's a starch. And then you're going to have your carrots, your broccoli, your cauliflower. Okay. So like it's always going to be based around the starch and not the meat anymore. And no oils, of course, like I said. So no oils. When I say oil, I mean all. So vegetable oil, olive oil, even though we've heard over and over and over that it's healthy for us. Well, it's not. It's pure fat. It's not a health food at all. So we stay away from that. Canola, any of those oils that you pour from the bottle to fry your foods in, we do not touch. Margarines, whether it's vegan or real dairy, butters, any of that, none of that. It's all oil, solidified oil. We stay away from it. Okay. And then again, no animal products, meat, cheese, eggs, milk, none of that. We stay away from that. So we're eating whole foods. A whole food is something that comes from the ground, so it's plant, and also unprocessed. So I am guilty of eating some processed foods. Okay, maybe eventually one day we will completely be unprocessed, but for now, because it's so new to us, we still do eat some processed food. So one would be like pasta. Okay, so it is a starch, and you can eat them. I mean, you're not told to avoid them by any means, but they are processed. So you kind of want to stick with maybe less processed pasta. So like whole wheat, whole grain pastas would be better. We're still on the white pasta. Again, I have kids and that's what they like. And to try and switch them from, a SAD diet, so the standard American diet, I am Canadian, but it's the same thing, trying to switch them from that to vegan, and then from vegan, which was vegan junk, from that to this, I'm working with them here. So I do make white pasta. We had it last night for supper. We had spaghetti and tomato sauce. That was what we had. But once, we're slowly going to be transitioning into more healthful, unprocessed foods, it will go to whole grain. And then maybe, I don't know. For me personally, I have the most weight to lose in this house. And so those higher calorie foods, I'm going to try and stay away from a little bit more than foods that aren't as high, just because I have more weight to lose. I want to lose it faster, and that's just my choice. But whatever floats your boat. So yeah, that's basically the starch solution summed up into one little package. I just wanted to explain a little bit better. And again, if there's something I missed, something you want to know, leave a comment. I'll try and figure that out for you for sure. And then also I just want to quickly go over another symptom that I'm having, and probably, I don't know, thousands, if not millions of people have this as well. Personally, I know 3 and then myself that have this symptom. So it's symptoms of hypoglycemia, and I say symptoms of because I've been tested for it, and apparently I don't have that. And so what hypoglycemia is actually, I'm just going to read this here. It's also low blood glucose or low blood sugar, and it occurs when the level of glucose in your body drops below normal. And so the mild to moderate symptoms that you can experience would be shaky or jittery, sweaty, hungry, headachy, blurred vision, sleepy or tired, dizzy or lightheaded, confused or disoriented, pale, uncoordinated, irritable or nervous, argumentative or combative, change of behavior or personality, trouble concentrating, weak, fast or irregular heartbeat, unable to eat or drink, seizures or convulsions, or unconsciousness. So I deal with every single one minus 3. Probably almost once a day. It happened to me yesterday. Coming home from our walk, get home, the kids come home my son comes home from school, get in the house, right away I start getting shaky, my eyes start to feel blurry and funny, lightheaded, I can't concentrate, the kids are hungry, they want food after school, it was not fun. Anyways, so that's just another symptom that I would like to cure or reverse, I should say, with diet, and hopefully, that'll happen sooner than later. Anyhow, so give me a thumbs up if you like this type of video. I'll keep doing more of the things that you guys like. Ask questions. And yeah.